From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, it's your one-stop shop for news, across the board.
Welcome to Across the Board, a news magazine show featuring all things Connecticut and beyond. I'm Colleen Mason.
And I'm Leroy Moulton. We begin our show with pollution that is causing a great harm at Milford Beach. In the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy, towns like Milford along the Long Island Sound have rebuilt but face big blood insurance rate hikes. Our attention is now drawn to the overall well-being of Connecticut's watersheds. One of the largest watersheds is battling a new epidemic of plastic waste that is affecting many components of the state's waterways. Reporter Leah Silendog has the story.
80 million tons of plastic is produced each year. 30 million tons of that plastic is produced by the U.S. alone. Of that 30 million tons, only 2.7 million tons of plastic are actually being recycled. This means only 9% of plastics are being recycled, leaving the other 91% unaccounted for. The unrecycled plastic is finding its way into ecosystems, watersheds, and even the food chain. We caught up with environmental activists and volunteers at the Audubon Coastal Center in Milford, Connecticut to see what people in the community are doing to help alleviate these issues of pollution.
And I grew up around the ocean, and I've learned a lot over the years about how our stewardship of the water and how we treat the environment directly affects not only the fish and the birds, but us eventually. When we do these beach cleanups, we find a lot of plastic. There's plastic everywhere. And what a lot of people don't realize is that birds and turtles ingest that plastic and eventually could kill them.
So the plastics also are a biohazard because they don't biodegrade, they microdegrade into tinier and tinier pieces. And then birds actually eat them.
When we're doing a cleanup like this, we're not just cleaning it up so it looks nice, we're doing it because it helps to make our environment more healthy for the birds and turtles and other animals that live in and around it. A lot of people don't know is that plastic never actually really disappears, that plastic doesn't both biodegrade, it photodegrades, which means that it never completely goes away. It breaks down under sunlight, but all that means is that it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller particles until it's just the polymers. Those polymers become dissolved in seawater and it's ingested by animals, winds up in the food chain. So plastic is something we really need as a society to really seriously use a lot less of and make sure that we recycle what we do use.
To do more of giving back, both to other groups and to the wildlife, that there's just so much trash that keeps piling up, and do a little bit of picking it up. I always try and do that on my dog walks in the Naugatuck State Forest. I figure even if I can only manage to get one piece of trash picked up, that's one piece of trash that comes out.
It doesn't take much effort really. It's just a matter of going out and spending a little time cleaning up, and also on the prevention end, not using plastic bags, not using plastic bottles, and if you have to use them, recycle them. The less plastic there is out there from daily use, the less winds up in the water.
Environmental activists and volunteers gathered at Milford Point to not only restore the cleanliness to the beaches, but to also improve the quality of life of Connecticut's indigenous wildlife, as well as its people. Recycling, reusing, and cleanup events are simple ways people are able to minimize the amounts of plastic that end up in the environment and our communities.
Now we shift our focus to Groton, Connecticut, home of the U.S. Submarine Force, where we find a heart-filled moment with our troops. Friends and families are reunited with their sailors after the USS Dallas returns to base. We go to Erin Howard, who has the story.
I'm here at Eastern Point Beach in Groton, Connecticut. Behind me, you can see the Thames River, and just a few miles upstream is New London Sub Base. The base is home to almost a dozen boats, and if you're lucky, you can watch one of these boats being pushed out to sea. But the best view is a view of the boats coming home to its home port to see its family and friends.
Emotions are often quite high when families are reunited with their submariners.
and families of the USS Dallas were more than ready to welcome home their sailors. It was only 6 months ago that the USS Dallas returned home after being on deployment for over half of a year. What organizations helped to sponsor the homecoming event?
Today we have the USO here, we have Navy Federal Credit Union, and then a lot of our sponsors actually came from the Dallas family members themselves.
Right now we're just helping the Dallas wives support their husbands for coming home. We're selling their merchandise, and they have some ribbons that we're putting together to show our support.
How long has it been since you last saw your husband?
7 months.
What's the first thing that you're going to do when you see your husband?
Kiss him.
And can you describe how you're feeling right now?
Just very, very excited. Just ready to have him home for a little while.
Families waited in anticipation as the boat was moored to the pier, as some families were given the opportunity to have the traditional first kiss.
The first kiss, they do a drawing with our FRG group, and I was one of the lucky people to get it. So we just run up there and we get a kiss before all the rest of the wives and get to see their husbands, and it's just kind of a fun thing to do.
Amanda Longnecker had a special surprise for her husband, Kyle.
After the first kiss, Amanda was like, hey, we gotta go get the stroller. And then as we're walking back, I had this old man start running at me. It was my dad. My mom came, and then my 2 nieces, and then my grandma.
What's that, Daddy? Chocolate?
When they're all done, Mommy lets you have one. It's really nice having them around. Just an extra set of hands, and just to be able to be together. And
I was waking up next to them, getting up having breakfast every morning with them.
And the Longneckers are looking forward to Kyle's next assignment. Are you excited about going to Hawaii?
Very excited.
Hawaii will be a lot of fun, and warm weather, and
Get out in the cold.
being outside all the time, and
Yeah.
being on the beach,
Think you like the beach?
and swimming in the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah,
The big ocean.
it is a big ocean.
The Longnecker family got a surprise shortly after the boat returned home. A decommissioning of the USS Dallas was extended for a period of time. This means that the boat is actually going to be deployed again despite previous plans. Amanda and Zoe spend their days together at the park while they wait for Kyle's return.
Drive, set, go.
They all look forward to the day when they'll be moving to Hawaii next fall and a plan to make up for lost time on the shores of Pearl Harbor. From across the board, I'm Erin Howard, Groton, Connecticut.
Coming up after the break, Sacred Heart University celebrates Criminal Justice Month at the Shine Auditorium. We'll be right back.
We live in a digital age in which days have become minutes and competition is fierce. To successfully navigate the new media landscape, professionals should be trained in the latest technologies by established leaders from the media and communications industry. Hands-on experience and a real-world portfolio are vital to thrive as a 21st century communications professional. MACOM brings all of this and more together in one program, located on the Gold Coast of Connecticut, near the media capital of the world, and delivered through a flexible curriculum designed for today's graduate student. MACOM offers concentrations in 3 professional areas using the latest technologies and a hands-on curriculum. Corporate communications and public relations. Learn to plan, create, and distribute multimedia publicity for companies and nonprofits. Digital and multimedia journalism. Become a news crew and all-platform media producer in the post-print era. Digital and multimedia production. Gain advanced digital production skills for today's media and entertainment industries, including sports, advertising, television, and digital filmmaking. For a new generation of communications professionals, a program designed for the digital age and today's job market. Less talk and more do. MACOM at Sacred Heart University. For the future of communication.
Welcome back to Across the Board. March was Criminal Justice Month at Sacred Heart University. One of the events featured 2 legal professionals who spoke to the criminal justice students. The speakers talked about their jobs, how they got to where they are today, and what their job encompasses. Carl Campbell reports.
Hi, my name is Stephen Underhill. I'm a U.S. District Judge sitting in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I'm at Sacred Heart today because I was invited to address criminal justice students about federal court and what we do in criminal justice.
My name is Frank Riccio. I am a federal criminal defense attorney, practice out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, appearing in all 3 seats of federal court in Connecticut. Also speaking to the students today about criminal justice in the 21st century, the challenges, the racial biases, if they do or don't exist, and what the future holds.
Following the introduction, Professor Anthony Pappas started the proceedings.
There was an opening on the court. There were lots of rumors about who was going to be the next judge, and one day I got a phone call from Senator Chris Dodd's office saying, we have an opening on the court, someone suggested you might be interested, and I quickly kind of picked myself off the floor and dusted myself off and said, yes, I would be very interested.
My job is not to determine if this person is morally guilty or innocent. My job is to determine if legally he's guilty or innocent. So, with that said, many cases that I've defended over the years are, as Ms. Carlin prosecutes, drug cases, where it's conspiracy cases, importation, and interstate transportation of narcotics cases, but also the really difficult cases such as child pornography.
After the event, criminal justice students talked about what they learned from the event.
Positions that were here from federal prosecutors, the judge himself, I believe it's very interesting how all the positions coincide with each other and they all work together to get to the same result at the end of the case or trial or whatever may have you. I learned a lot from all the different positions that were here, and I look forward to coming to another panel together.
Throughout the rest of March, the Criminal Justice Department held informative forums with many other speakers.
In many inner cities, you will often see tennis courts that are emptier than a deserted island. However, one city in Connecticut showcases some of the most successful tennis players across the state. I took a look into an organization that not only teaches tennis, but also growth and professional development. Norwalk Grassroots Tennis is a nonprofit organization. It is geared to help inner-city kids overcome the struggles of poverty and become successful individuals. Most kids in the program come from the projects in Norwalk, Connecticut. Not many can say an organization made their dream come true, but for Antonio Passarelli,
Norwalk Grassroots Tennis has basically given me almost everything I have now, especially related to tennis. Also, same with the education. Without Grassroots, I don't think I would have been able to go to college.
When I first got on board, I really saw the quality of the tennis program. And I believe that the tennis model is brilliant.
throughout the week, mentors and volunteers help the students with life skills, education, and of course, tennis. Antonio talks about the activities.
There weren't many groups that had over 40 kids, and then now for the last 5 years we've averaged over hundreds of kids, which I think the progression and that in itself is a great feat. And the education, we have a lot of volunteers, which we never had before, and also the tennis. We've been able to get to many clubs, including this one here, also Wilton on Fridays.
I want to be here every single day. I love it so much. It's like my tennis family. I love it so much. I just want to be here all night, every day, and mostly on weekends because I get to be here and have fun.
It's not all about fun. Each year, students from Norwalk Grassroots enter the Arthur Ashe contest. In 2013, the organization had 2 winners. Pam Heckel talks about their success.
I think it's wonderful because it shows that the kids are not only learning tennis, but they're learning life skills, and they're learning to teamwork and all the things that they need to know to have a successful life, and they're able to verbalize it and put it down on paper.
Anyone involved will tell you the program's success has a lot to do with head coach David Kamani.
You cannot say enough good about David Kamani. For Norwalk Grassroots Tennis, he is the heart and soul of this program.
A pioneer at Grassroots, David has built personal relationships and served as a mentor oftentimes a family member.
I do remember the time years back when the kid came up to me and told me, you look just like my dad. You know, it hit me hard. I said, wow. And the kid was a good player. He was listening. He was trying his best, and I felt a little special being considered to be. Initially, I thought I'm a friend, but now it was getting close enough to be part of the kids' family.
This has been an Across the Board report.
It really looks like that tennis program is doing a great thing for the community. That's a great story, Leroy.
Thank you, Colleen. And when we'll come back, we'll take a look at a former athlete who lost his shot at his dream, but was able to experience a second chance with the Sacred Heart University Athletic Department. Stay tuned.
I can't believe it's only been a year. I look back to some of my original projects and think, oh my gosh, if I could do those again, I know I would do them 1,000 times better.
The MACOM program at Sacred Heart, the hands-on approach was actually why I decided to enroll here. I hadn't gotten a lot of that in my undergrad and knew that that was really going to be something I was going to need to develop professionally.
Learning how to use things is so much more effective for my learning style than just being told about them and then having to apply them on your own. It's not only theory here, it's practice.
One of the highlights of the MACOM program is the internship portion.
The internships and mentorships being incorporated as actual courses benefits everybody in the program. At first you get introduced to the different ideas, and then you get your chance to get your feet wet.
You get to work with real professionals, and they treat you as professionals.
Seeing some of my classmates who are really good with the video portions, it made me say, you know, these are all things that I want to add to my portfolio.
This program is very strong in bringing students together in groups to accomplish tasks like the PSA.
One of the things that I've done in the MACOM program was enter in the Wine and Spirit Wholesalers of Connecticut's public service announcement contest.
Hey, check it out.
That was really exciting for me.
I got the cranberry and vodka.
To see all of the talent in Connecticut. And it was even more exciting that Sacred Heart actually won.
We ended up winning first place and technical excellence, which was awesome.
The media industry is trending towards people who can do more. The one person who can write their own script, shoot it, and edit it. Coming to MACOM, you'll be able to learn how to do all those things.
I've learned to think visually, which is something that I didn't do before. And I know how to build a story. It's so much more than just getting the right shots. It's really thinking about a script beforehand, knowing what you want to ask someone that you're interviewing, knowing that you have to take 25 shots to get one that's great. And so I think that I found my role within those classes, and I really feel much more confident about going into the field of media with the skills that I've garnered here.
And we're back on Across the Board. So many young and talented inner city kids miss their shots at reaching their potential. However, there are those who rebound and make good on second chances. Tavares Tuck, a once promising basketball star, is now the one person Sacred Heart University athletics cannot live without. Here's our report.
My best friend got murdered down here. And that's the worst thing I ever seen in it.
Nothing's ever promised tomorrow today. From the shot like Tim, it's a harder way. So this is in the name of love, like Robert say. Before you ask me to go get a job today, can I at least get a raise on the minimum wage?
Even for the most promising young man from the neighborhoods of Bridgeport, the future is never guaranteed. In life, like basketball, you often have to create your own shot, because all too often your shots are taken away.
I had a chance to go to Johnson C. Smith University. I gave a friend a ride, and he dropped narcotics on the floor. Right now, they was gonna charge both of us for 2.5 years of narcotics. I think it got down to the last 2 weeks of the trial, and he came out forward and said it was his. It was nothing to do with me. But it was too late. My college thing was terminated. They didn't want me anymore.
Tavares Tuck, A once highly regarded basketball star missed his first shot at college, but that didn't stop him from rebounding his life and giving others the shot that he missed. Today, Tavares has made his way just a few miles from his old neighborhood to Sacred Heart University and is now the one person who the athletic department cannot live without.
Tavares is our go-to person. There's not a day that goes by that we're not talking about something, sometimes 4 or 5 times a day. Athletics got a lot better when he got in this department. It's about our 31 sports here that he wants to try to make better, and he'll do anything for those sports.
I go above and beyond my position. Whatever I can do to help anybody around here, it'll get done.
Often the first one in and the last one to leave, Tavares prepares and maintains athletic facilities at the Pitt Center. He is the man who gives the Pioneers a home to compete in on game day, a role he takes great pride in, and one that makes him a true member of the team.
I get goosebumps just seeing the kids come on the court that I know I prepared, got cleaned up for them. The people that I work for, my team here, my Pioneer people, I would love to be comfortable where they playing at.
He might as well have a uniform on. And, you know, every team, he wants them to win.
It's hard to watch because right now, when these kids lose, I lose. So right now it doesn't. So right now to sit and see a close game and see these kids add to afterwards, it affects me more than it probably affects them. Because when they win, it's like basically I win. When they lose, we lose as a team. And right now I'm a part of their team. So when we lose all together. We don't win.
Though he may not have a college degree, the road that led Tavares to Sacred Heart was his education. One he enjoys sharing with the student athletes who have the opportunity that eluded him.
I never got a chance to go to college, so it was a college experience. But to give back to some of these college kids, that a chance that I never had to give is wonderful. So the experience working here and then being around the college atmosphere is great.
We should probably get him a uniform and put it on his office that he doesn't have. But maybe someday he'll have an office.
An office that someday maybe will even have a degree from Sacred Heart hanging in it.
Makes me want to go back to school and follow some of my dreams I had as me owning my own business as construction, plumbing, and some electrician. So it just give me, this seeing these kids do it, give me a whole bunch of encouragement knowing that I could do it.
They say people in your life for seasons, and anything that happen is for a reason. And gun clapping and keep the squeezing, and grand keep praying and keep believing in Jesus, and one day
Here's a local story out of Sacred Heart University where students are trying to raise money for cancer research through the sport of basketball. A Shot for Life organization was founded back in 2011 and since then has made its way to many high school and college campuses. Jeff Carter reports.
Jeff Carter reporting for Across the Board News. I'm here at Sacred Heart's very own William H. Pitt Center for the A Shot for Life 3-on-3 basketball tournament, hosted by Omega Phi Kappa and Zeta Tau Alpha. The proceeds for this event will go to Mass General Hospital. As spectators filled up the stands, players and teams filed in to register. Others began to warm up and shoot around to the music by DJ Carday. I'm here today with Ian Cotterell, Vice President of A Shot for Life organization. Now, Ian, what made you bring A Shot to Life to Sacred Heart University?
It's a really good cause, and I started in high school, so I figured why not bring it to college. I used my fraternity, Omega Phi Kappa, to help spread the cause throughout the school, and then I just brought it to Sacred Heart because I thought it'd be a great thing to do.
How did you feel was the overall experience of it this year?
We had a lot of people help this year, and I was really happy about that. Raised a decent amount of money. We had a great turnout, and I think it went really well.
A Shot for Life was founded with a mission to harness the energy and the goodwill of athletes to raise money for cancer research through sports. Why did you participate in this event this year?
Well, being a new member in Omega Phi Kappa, I want to take that extra step. This year is a crazy success compared to last year. And I mean, we all put a lot of hard work into it this year, and it's just a great thing to come out to.
As teams continued to battle it out, I was able to get a quick word in with the A Shot for Life CEO. What caused you to start the A Shot for Life organization?
Well, I had a brain cancer scare with my mother right at the end of my junior year of high school, and that kind of sparked this whole thing. And me and Ian have been best friends through 12, so he was one of the first people on board with A Shot for Life, and as you can see, he's still a big part of it.
Now, if someone was to want to get involved in A Shot for Life or donate, What should they do?
They can contact me at my email at cotterelli@sacredheart.mail.edu, and I'll just take it from there.
Right. This is Jeff Carter from Across the Board News. Back to you guys in the studio.
Now that spring is upon us, it's time to step out of those boots and enjoy a night on the catwalk. In this next story, Karima Muhammad shows how one fashion guru can cure the winter blues with a simple, trendy transformation.
I'm every woman because I feel I can relate to most women when it comes to fashion and style.
This is why Eastland Suarez of Vice Versa Showroom, along with models, musical artists, and designers, took part in the Ricky Trendy Fashion Show. As an entrepreneur in the fashion industry for over 5 years, Suarez styled hostess Kristen Brown in the timeless Aria dress.
Like everything with Vice Versa, there's always different ways of wearing something. We like to mix vintage and contemporary, so that's kind of where the concept came up as well, that I wanted to create a gown for her, but that can also be transformed easily into a cocktail dress.
Pretty much, it was an excellent experience all around.
It was just a hit. I mean, everyone loved it, and she wore the dress beautifully.
What is her advice to up-and-coming entrepreneurs?
A business is meant to change and grow, and accepting that.
Vice versa!
Now that's what you call fashion. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I totally love the part when they just ripped the bottom off the dress. Gorgeous and amazing.
Stunning. And that's our time. I would like to thank our entire crew for their hard work and dedication.
This show was produced as part of the Masters in Communication program at Sacred Heart University. On behalf of all of us, thanks for joining us on Across the Board.